Hi, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of the Tiny Brains podcast. I'm Kevin Joyce, CEO at Tiny Brains, and with me, as always, is Peter Graham, the Brigadier of Brains. Say hello, Peter.
Hello all.
So, what we do on this podcast is we take a look at the biggest stories in XR from the previous week, and today we're going to kick off with a story about Meta, as has been the case often recently.
Yes, Meta and smart glasses. Now, we've spoken many times about Meta's plans for their smart glasses with Ray-Ban and all the rest of it. And we know things are in the works and new things were going to be coming. But for the first time, we've had Mark Zuckerberg confirm from his own mouth that some new smart glasses are actually coming in 2025. This all came by way of a recent earnings call, as a lot of these things tend to do. And he said, yes, that they've got plans with Ray-Ban to release new smart glasses at the end, towards the end of this year. And he's basically said like they've got some exciting launches, and it's going to expand the technological capabilities of their glasses, whatever that may mean.
What it means to me is that these glasses will be revealed at Connect, probably with some kind of visual implementation as well as audio, and we can write off a Quest 4 this year. That's just my room. That's just my brain working. But that's how what I fear is likely.
That's a cheeky take on it, Kev. No, no Meta Quest 4. There's not even a slight hint at a 4.
Oh, possibly. Quest 4 is coming, but I don't think we're going to see it.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I feel that Quest 4 may be held off until next year.
Yeah.
We have said before that this year seems to be the year of sort of AR and that sort of technology. And while smart glasses aren't AR, it's going down that same line. A lot of AI stuff and things like that. So, uh, uh,
Yes. I mean, smart glasses were always inevitably going to handle visual AR. At the moment, a lot of them do audio AR, but a lot of they were inevitably going to handle that. And this for me is the year that starts, not the year it gets perfected, not the year it's like all encompassing, everyone's got a pair or anything like that. It's the year that starts in my
well, yeah.
mind.
But they do seem to be selling well. We had recent reports that they've sold well from Ray-Ban that they've sold around about 2 million units so far, which is fair, which is going quite well at the moment. And that's in that also in that earnings report was the small fact that the sales had dropped a little bit in Q1 due to lower than expected Quest sales, but these were actually supported or buoyed by the sales of their smart glasses.
Which is
Well done.
nice.
Yeah, everyone getting ready for the summer. These going to be everyone's going to be walking around in smart glasses, recording each other. Listen to
And sticking with smart glasses, we have more smart glasses coming.
yeah. This is going to be a bit of a podcast about smart glasses as well. So what we've got now is Reebok, the athletic sports brand, are getting into smart glasses as well. They have collaborated with a company called, let me double check, Innovative Eyewear Inc. And they are going to be releasing four smart glasses models for generally tailored towards athletes. So they're going to be four models set for like, one's going to be designed around cyclists, another one's going to be designed around whatever the sport they can think of. And yes, these are going to have again features like ChatGPT built in via a smartphone app, music and that sort of stuff. Primarily, though, the main difference that you may see with these is that they're not going to have cameras. These are sleek. They're not going to have sticking outside where you're going to have cameras built in or anything like that. So these are more professional-led sports smart glasses.
They're for people who want to wear sunglasses at the gym.
Well, yeah, that's it. They're a little bit cheaper. They're going to be like $200. So everyone's getting in on it. Everyone is going to get in. Everyone, man and their dog.
Including Amazon.
Yes, Amazon is investing in smart glasses. Yay!
More smart glasses! Yay!
Again, this is, we're covering a lot of smart glasses at the moment, and Amazon had previously said that they're going to start releasing AR glasses for their drivers to help optimize that last sort of 100 yards or so of the experience, taking photos of when they deliver parcels and all that. But this recent news is all about Amazon investing in a new Helsinki company called, well, it's IXI-in, however you want to pronounce that. It's a new Series A funding round, and Amazon, via their Alexa fund, helps invest in them by a cool $36 million.
Pocket change.
Pocket change for Alexa and Amazon. But yes, this is again supporting Amazon's venture into AR glasses, not just sunny smart glasses, but actual AR glasses.
Stepping stones. That's what we always say on this podcast. It's going to take time for these things to happen, and there are processes that need to be done. And this is stepping stones all towards a brighter technological future.
Yeah. So we'll all be wearing smart glasses by the end of the year, won't we, Kev?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, on this podcast, in fact. I
Yeah.
don't go to the gym, so sunglasses on the podcast instead.
Yeah. At one point, we will both have to wear smart glasses on this podcast and
Just to
record.
prove ourselves right, if nothing else. Okay, so moving on from everybody getting into XR to someone who suddenly says, I'm not going to get into XR.
Yes, if you may remember a few years ago, the metaverse was quite a big name. It was quite a buzzword, wasn't it? Some dude who owned a company called Facebook decided to rename his company, his billion-dollar company, towards the metaverse. But since then, it's become a bit of a, I don't know, taboo word, would you say, Kev? It's
Yeah, it's not a word that is, it's a buzzword and not one that's welcomed very much.
not one that's really positively mentioned anymore now. But one person who does seem to mention it a bit more in a positive light is Tim Sweeney, the legendary programmer from and co-founder of Epic Games. He was recently on the Lex Friedman podcast, and they were talking about all sorts of stuff over the 4 odd hours that they had their podcast, a little bit longer than what we do here. And yes, naturally, the metaverse came up, and Tim Sweeney was like, "Yeah, VR and also stuff like cryptocurrency isn't needed. What you need is Fortnite."
So I have some thoughts on this, and you pretty much nailed it there. So in my earlier days in XR, I met Mr. Sweeney several times. He was a nice enough chap, and he was a very early promoter of VR. This was back in before the Rift launched in the HTC Vive and that kind of era. And he was the one that was promoting VR as a tool at Epic Games. It was straight from him. He's the reason Robo Recall exists. Um, and he was adamant that VR was the next stepping stone. However, in the years that have come between, Fortnite has launched and become ridiculously good success for Epic Games. And I feel like maybe his opinion on this has been twisted by the fact that they now have this one game that has evolved into a platform which is arguably considered a metaverse, not the metaverse, they're different, a metaverse. And of course, there is no access to this through XR. Fortnite hosts concerts and all sorts of stuff go on in that platform. So I feel like his viewpoint has been jaded by this one runaway success they've had. Epic Games now is a very different company to what Epic Games was 9 years ago because of the success of Fortnite. So, Mr. Sweeney, I'm very sorry, but I disagree with you. Uh, a real metaverse, not just a metaverse, a real metaverse needs full embodiment, and you can't get that in with through a screen.
Yes, see where his thought process is that you need millions of creators all in the same thing, and he feels that VR is just too niche, and you can't get anywhere with a niche technology like this.
I agree that VR is niche now. Give it some time. Give it some time. Another 10 years. We'll see.
Another 10 years, yeah.
Another 10 years. So moving on to some slightly more positive news, we have a game to round up the week, as we always do, and this is a game that was actually just a PC game, flat screen game, that then became a PC VR game, and is now also coming to MetaQuest.
Yes, a Remnant protocol, which is a space combat sim due to arrive on Quest in about Q4 2025. And like you say, Kev, originally it was about 2 odd years ago that it was announced as just a flat screen PC game. But thanks to Meta Money, it's now coming out to not only VR, but yes, Quest, in hopefully in a few short months. And it's the type of game, the genre that Quest is missing. You know, there's a several genres that Quest does very well, and a lot of people to put time and effort into. But space combat sims have definitely been on the wane. You know, I remember in the early days of VR, games like Eve Valkyrie. That was one of my favorite early games, and that was fantastic.
First game I played on a Rift,
Yeah.
on the HD prototype.
And you just don't see those type of games anymore. Maybe they're not as popular, but I think Meta maybe invested in this because it realized there was this gap. But
It's a strange one, this one, I'll be honest, because they bill it as a strategy sim, but everything they've shown so far seems very combat orientated. I understand there's a component to the game of like essentially building your hangar base and new ships and things like that, but the gameplay revolves largely around space combat. So interested to see how this combines and plays out in an actual game.
yes, yes, and like I say, there's still half a year or so before it comes anywhere near launch.
And if Meta's got some money behind it, maybe we'll get a big reveal at Connect for it.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for this week. So thank you all very much for watching. If there's anything that you'd like to discuss that we mentioned in this podcast, feel free to reach out to us. Any of the ways to reach out to us. And also, if you have some news you'd like featured, drop us a line. Let us know. Tell us what's happening. Thanks very much. See you all next week.